call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kaminsky?
Here.
Mrs. Joffrey?
Here.
Mayor Morgan?
Here.
Mr. Munoz?
Okay.
Present.
Mrs. McKnight?
Here.
Mrs. Belisca?
Present.
Let's salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we all remain standing for a minute? I think it's appropriate that we have a moment of silence. After 9/11, we had 6 individuals in our town that passed away that day. And I just want to say, you know, I was mayor back then, and I know I see the police, fire, rescue. What they did was they went above and beyond that day and for the weeks after that. So if we could have a moment of silence and thank them and think about the people who passed, please. Thank you very much. The public hearing, this is a public meeting, Borough of New Providence, council meeting, County of Union, State of New Jersey. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with PL 1975. Chapter 231, the annual notice of revision was made in conformance with Section 13 of the Act. First, we have a public hearing on Ordinance 11, please. Please read the title.
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 253 of the Code of the Borough of New Providence entitled Vehicles Abandoned and Unlicensed.
What this is that previously the building inspector used to give out the summons for that, and now it has switched to the police department. Anybody wishing to address this ordinance and this ordinance only, please raise their hand. Seeing no one, I declare the public hearing closed. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Kaminsky?
Aye.
Mrs. Joffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz?
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight?
Yes.
Mrs. Belisca?
Aye.
Okay. We have 2 appointments. Resolution 232, please read the title.
Resolution appointing Stephen Drown to captain in the New Providence Police Department of the Borough of New Providence, State of New Jersey, County of Union.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Kaminsky?
Aye.
Mrs. Joffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz?
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight?
Yes.
Mrs. Belisca?
Aye.
Where's Steve?
He's gone.
You made it? Okay, repeat after me. I, Stephen Drown,
I, Stephen Drown,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of
of
the United States
the United
and the
States
Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New
of the
Jersey,
State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United
in
States
the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority
under the authority
of the people,
of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of police captain
of police captain
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Come on, Dan. Oh, good.
No, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, everyone. I'm very thankful for this job. I'm thankful for my family supporting me. And I don't want to forget the people that helped me get to this position now. So thank you, and that's about it.
Thank you. 53, please read the title.
Resolution appointing Donald Stratenovic as Lieutenant in the New Providence Police Department, Borough of New Providence, State of New Jersey, County of Union.
Have a motion.
So moved.
A second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kaminsky?
Aye.
Mrs. Jeffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz?
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight?
Yes.
Mrs. Belisca?
Aye.
Bring them all up. That's okay. Been busy. Donald Stratenovic,
I, Donald Stratenovic,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly
that
swear
I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United
of
States
the United States
and the Constitution
and the
of
Constitution
the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in the state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of police lieutenant
all the duties of police lieutenant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Get that, Nick. Get that.
Seeing as that, I just want to thank everybody. Thank all those gentlemen back there for all the support all these years. The chief, the mayor, and council, this wonderful town. I really appreciate it. I love being a part of this town.
And we appreciate you.
Congratulations.
Very much.
You know you got some good guys when you see all the team members back there smiling and happy.
Yeah.
Great job. Awesome. Great to see.
It really is.
Very true.
Okay. Well, if everybody, they can leave now after we did the promotions. But we do have one proclamation, so.
That's it. Goes everybody. You can't stay though.
Alright. Food time.
Al, aren't you supposed to encourage people to stay?
Huh?
Aren't you supposed to encourage people to stay?
Food is hot and beer is cold. It's time to go.
There goes your audience, Annie.
Bye-bye. Coming. Walking the troops out.
Okay, this is a proclamation September as Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas pediatric cancer is the leading cause of death by disease in children, and whereas the average age of diagnosis is 6 years old, compared to 66 years for adult cancer diagnosis, and whereas 2/3 of pediatric cancer patients have chronic health conditions as a result of their treatment toxicity, with 1/4 being classified as severe to life-threatening, and whereas approximately 84% of cancer families experience financial hardship, and whereas in the last 20 years, only 4 new drugs have been approved by the FDA to specifically treat childhood cancer. And whereas the National Cancer Institute recognizes the unique research needs of pediatric cancer and the associated need for increased funding to find a cure. Whereas hundreds of nonprofit organizations at the local and national level, including the Brooke Healy Foundation, are helping children with cancer and their families cope through educational, emotional, and financial support. And whereas researchers and healthcare professionals work diligently, dedicating their expertise to treat and cure children with cancer. And whereas experts believe truly cure cancer, we have to focus on these cancers that are the biggest bullies, like diffuse intrinsic pontine glaucoma. And whereas, did I get it right? Whereas experts also believe in funding the cure for EIPG, I got that right, could lead to a home run for cure of cancers. Whereas too many children are affected by this deadly disease, and more must be done to raise awareness to find a cure. Now therefore, I, Alan Morgan, Mayor of the Borough of New Providence, County of Union, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim September as Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month in the Borough of New Providence, New Jersey, and encourage residents to observe Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month and support this cause that deeply impacts families in every community. And New Providence is truly special in this because it's the home of the Brooke Healy Foundation. So, thank you very much.
It definitely hits home here from New Providence. I grew up in New Providence and went to school here, raising my kids here. Someone just said before, it's a wonderful town. We really are very lucky and blessed to be where we are, very fortunate. The downside is watching our friends, neighbors, and families with children that are suffering from these incurable cancers. So we're going to care until it's cured. And we're going to keep going, raising the awareness and spreading this wherever we can go, and just getting all the support that we can. So we appreciate everybody's time and support with all this.
And we appreciate you, everything you do
Thank
in
you.
the organization.
We're working hard. They're helping a lot of families.
I know you are.
So, and if you get time, go on to brookhealy.com. You can look and see what the events are. There is a Somerset Patriot game. They're going to be a Star Wars night this Friday night. They're going to donate proceeds to the Brooke Healy Foundation. They're going to be auctioning off some character jerseys. We have all kinds of events. We have from every town, from the Sterling Hotel, the Prestige Diner, Old Glory, places in Summit, Berkeley Heights. They're all putting on the stickers and putting out the coasters with the QR codes, so that people just pick up their phone, snap on it, and it takes them right to the site where you can read about it, learn about it, and see what you can do and be a part of trying to help us get things here. So here is a reusable, trying to be environmentally friendly and responsible.
Well, thank you.
So there's a bag for everybody that's left here. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Need approval of minutes for July 19th, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes. Aye.
No? So be it. Correspondence, State of New Jersey, DEP, Remedial Action Protectiveness Biennial Certification Form for the groundwater at 600 Mountain. We get that twice a year. JCP&L, a public notice for verification petition. Union County Council, the sale of county land in Berkeley Heights. DEP again, soil remediation permit for 535 Mountain. And the next one is the classification for the well at the same address. Shelburne Spring LLC, planning board hearing for 41 Spring. And Janice Gavin, I know you spoke to her, Bernadette, about the parking during snowstorms at Gales Drive. As you know, the ordinance says you cannot park in the street because we can't plow the street. And I know Bernadette reached out to the superintendent and said there is enough parking for all the cars. But if you want to add certain parking spaces, it costs you $25 a month. Okay? Spring Grove Properties, Board of Adjustment hearing at 144 Gales. Any comments? Seeing none, we'll go to council business. Diane, administration.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2022-234 is a resolution approving the requisition for the Verdon Company in an amount not to exceed $26,143 for Veterans Park clock replacement. It's basically approving the replacement purchase of the clock in Veterans Park using capital money. And I know that this has been on several people's mind, and they will be very excited to see this working more than twice a day. Resolution 2022-235 is a resolution authorizing the application for fiscal year 2023 Union County Local Arts Grant, LAP, for the Borough of New Providence. Basically, this is authorizing the borough to apply for the Union County Local Arts Grants for fiscal 23 in the amount of $6,000 to purchase display cases for student artwork in the municipal building. We actually have student artwork in the Lincoln Room, and this will be an amazing addition. Introduction of Ordinance 2022-12. Ordinance of the Borough of New Providence to establish a registry for business insurance certificates. Governor Murphy signed into law S 1368 requiring all business owners and owners of multifamily rental units to maintain certain levels of liability insurance. In addition, this new law requires that all business owners and owners of multifamily rental units annually register a certificate of insurance with the municipality where the business or rental unit is located. So that's that. And then the next one is introduction of Ordinance 2022-13, which is an ordinance of the Borough of New Providence to amend the Borough Code to add a new chapter 166 titled Lead Paint Testing. And this imposes an obligation on municipalities to perform or hire a certified lead evaluation contractor to perform inspections of certain single-family, two-family, and multi-rental dwellings for lead-based paint hazards every 3 years or upon tenant turnover.
Okay. Matt, community activities.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2022-236 is a salary resolution. And this is just a salary resolution to hire some part-time help, seasonal help for our community activities department, a couple of youth programs, and an adult program. Actual pickleball instructor, which sounds cool. That's an up-and-coming game.
Sport.
On to finance.
Go ahead. You're on a roll, so.
Resolution 2022-237 is a resolution certifying our annual audit. We received our annual audit from Wekowitz and Company. Resolution 2022-238 is a resolution approving the corrective action plan required as part of our annual audit. So we did receive a few deficiencies in our audits, which normally come up, and I believe we have our CFO here today to talk through our action plan. Are we going to do that now? Can we do that now?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Hello?
Hello, Jim.
So, just to start out, Bernadette and I did meet with the auditor. We reviewed the whole audit document and the recommendations that we're going to talk about in a little bit. I will say overall that the recommendations that were in the audit, in my opinion, were minor, address them, and actually, we already started addressing some of them as we speak now. Do you want me to talk about the audit overall, in terms of my review of it, or do you want me to just stay with the actual?
Please.
I think the audit document's great, gives you a good picture of the prior year. I will say that the financial position of the borough is in very good shape. Your utilization and generation of surplus and the appropriation of surplus is a good way of going about budgeting. Your use of the reserve accounts with regards to unforeseen circumstances, with regards to your snow removal, some of the tax appeals is a good way of doing business, and I'm totally on board with using reserve accounts. And the last piece I like to speak to is, if you look at the audit document, it's a very big document, but if you look at the A2 and the A3, it's like on page 8 and 9, it gives you a good view of what happened during the year. It talks about your revenues, cash basis received, and also talks about all your appropriations in terms of what are left over, and appropriations of reserves that will carry over to 22. If they're not used, they go to surplus. So with regards to the audit, I just wanted to touch on that. With regards to the CAP, which is the Corrective Action Plan, there were 5 different recommendations. The first one talks about the political contribution forms, which you are supposed to receive for any contract over $17,500. When they did the audit, they found that there were a few vendors that we did not have them on file. A lot of them were multi-year, if I'm correct, multi-year contracts that we had them in 1 year, but we didn't have them in the 2021 year. So in talking with the Borough Clerk's office and the Finance office, we did put a method of implementation in that we're going to review it twice a year to make sure we have all those contribution forms on file. The second one was talking about utilization of state contracts and county co-ops. And in talking with the auditor, what I found was it was not purchases that were over those quote thresholds to begin with. It's more of an aggregate. So we had certain vendors that throughout the year that were under the threshold and then hit the bid threshold at a certain point during the year and fell through the cracks. So as the year went on, you're purchasing away, and nothing in the budget systems, and even I have not seen a budget system that would give you an alert that says, hey, you're over the bid threshold, you really need to now get the proper documentation. So what we're going to do with that, I talked to Bernadette and the Finance office, and what we're going to do with regards to that recommendation, we're going to look at considering a resolution in January to give us like a blanket for the year, as well as during the year looking at it towards the end of the year to see if we have any of them that are over, and we make sure we get the right resolutions in place before the end of the year. Also, I think with regards to the department heads, we'll let them know that they should keep an eye on any vendors that they're using, because they're the ones that use them, and they're pretty familiar with them, and if they see that they're getting close, that they should really give us a heads up in the Finance and in the Administration office so we could watch it. With regards to the third one, it's talking about payroll taxes of our third-party vendor. And what the auditors are looking for, and I don't know if you remember back, but there was a company that was collecting all the money from districts, municipalities, and not sending it to the state. They were keeping all the money. And what the auditors want from us is that proof from our third-party vendor on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis that they are submitting the taxes to the state. We are getting it now, right? And we will continue to do that, but it was just something in terms of what we should be doing in protocol, what the auditors are looking for, that we do it on a payroll basis, which is a good thing to do, just to make sure that our taxes are being paid to the state. The fourth one is with regards to enrolling certain employees in the pension fund, anyone who makes over $5,000. And this really related to some part-time employees at the library that they did hit that threshold based on what they were doing. That has been addressed already, and they are enrolled as we speak.
I thought that Christie passed a law years ago saying that if you're a part-time employee, you're not supposed to be in the pension system.
Well, no. You're a part-time employee, but it has to do with the dollar amount.
if you're over a certain dollar amount, you can't be in the PERS regular fund, but they call it the defined pension plan. It's a hybrid of the actual PERS, that it's a contribution by the employee and the district, so it's almost like a 401k. It's not the actual pension fund.
Okay.
But it's a supplement fund, but anyone over $5,000 that works part-time, and when you say work part-time, it's consistently. It's not seasonal, and they have to get into that defined benefit plan. It's actually not a defined benefit plan, it's actually almost like a 401k that, like I said, we both contribute into it. So it's not a defined benefit plan. And then the last recommendation was that employees that contribute towards their health and dental contribute the correct amounts. And basically what was found with this is when you switch from a state plan to a private plan or a private plan to a state plan, the contributions change with the dental. So that portion of it, we had to tidy up with our Human Resources Department. We spoke to the department, and going forward, it'll be reconciled and checked before all the contributions are done. So that's all the recommendations. Like I said, to me, they're minor. Once the council approves the audit and the cap, we'll do all the filing that we're supposed to the state, and then we'll follow through with the department heads in terms of letting all the departments know what the recommendations are and what our corrective action are. That's the main piece. When you put it on paper, you got to make sure that you go back to the departments to make sure that everyone's following what you put on paper so that they don't occur again.
Great, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. So moving on, Resolution 2022-239 is a resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2022 budget pursuant of NJS 40A 4-87, Chapter 159, PL 1948, Community Development Block Grants. This is inserting the CDBG grant money into our 2022 budget. We received $5,000 for the high-risk health fair and healthcare program for our senior citizens, as well as $8,250 for our senior citizens social services program, as well as $50,000 for our DeCorso Center roof renovations. So some good grant money coming back to the borough. Resolution 2022-240 is a resolution providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the 2022 budget pursuant of NJS 40A 4-87, Chapter 159, PL 1948, Federal Bulletproof Vest Program. This is inserting $3,254.39 into our 2022 budget for the purchase of a bulletproof vest. Is it one or more? I think it's one.
I think it's one. At $3,000, it's probably about three of them.
Three?
About $1,000 a piece,
Oh.
1,100, 1,200.
Resolution 2022-241 is a resolution authorizing the cancellation of grant funds receivable and appropriated, and this is canceling our unused 2021 Municipal Alliance grants in the amount of $11.74, $45.26, and $57. So it's great use of the Alliance money there. Resolution 2022-242 is a resolution accepting proposal from Suburban Consulting Engineers, Inc., 96 Highway 206, Suite 101, Flanders, New Jersey, for engineering and land surveying services for revision of our tax maps. So what we're doing here is we received a proposal from Suburban Consulting Engineering. They're going to digitize our tax maps in the borough. These haven't been done for many years, and so this is going to be a borough-wide. We're in preparation for our borough-wide revaluation. Resolution 2022-243 is a resolution authorizing payment of attached bills payable list in the amount of $3,350,121.20. Some of the significant items include our Board of Education payment for the month of September in the amount of $1,362,025. Our principal and interest debt payments to Depository Trust of $759,700. To the state of New Jersey for August and September state health benefit premiums in the amount of $206,380. Our payment to Top Line Construction for Woodbine Road project paid out of our New Jersey Department of Transportation grant funds of $192,257 to our USSI, which is our youth sports and summer rec programs. They run our programs for us down in Oakwood. $116,747, and to the library for our September payment of $85,585.
Okay, thank you. We might as well do legal and personnel. Rob?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2022-244 is a resolution accepting or authorizing an easement agreement with respect to 64 Chestnut Street. There's some owners of that property who want to expand their driveway. We do have an easement for some utilities that go under their driveway, and this just authorizes them to expand their driveway with the understanding that if we ever have to go in there and dig into that easement, they're responsible for all of the costs. Resolution 2022-245 is a resolution amending Resolution 2022-145, which appointed Dan Hann as the police chief for the Borough of New Providence. This just amends his salary to include a stipend for him being the OEM coordinator, and I believe that was $3,000 per year. Resolution 2022-246 is a resolution opposing the proposed increases to the state health benefits program. As you know, the state has proposed a 21.6% increase to the state health benefits program cost for municipal workers, and this resolution just opposes that proposed increase.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
When is that effective? 2023? Voting on the
Yeah.
floor?
This resolution will make it down there just in time, huh?
Number.
I think all the municipalities are going crazy over this. Okay, Matt, engineering.
Resolution 2022-247. This is a resolution authorizing the return of cash performance guarantee to Foley Square at Murray Hill, South Street, Southgate Road, and Westerly Avenue, Block 339, Lots 4 and 5, Block 331, Lot 7. This is return of cash portion of the performance guarantee bond in the amount of $28,116.87, and escrow money in the amount of $508.42 to Foley Square. Foley Square, as you know, has been built out and completed a while ago. There was some follow-up that our borough engineer and construction officials had. They completed those follow-ups, and so they're now receiving their cash portion of the bond. Here's an introduction of Ordinance 2022-14. This is an ordinance of the Borough of New Providence, County of Union, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 310 of the Code of the Borough of New Providence, entitled Zoning Ordinance. So Chapter 310 is a codification and amendment which provides standards for all of our development here in New Providence. The ordinance chapter is being updated to reflect what's now happening in the borough in regards to modernizing and becoming more user-friendly and keeping up with current trends. Included in this is our previously approved downtown ordinance. We worked on our downtown ordinance many years ago, which was designed to make it easier and provide guidance for people who wanted to come to downtown and enhance it. It also includes a new zone called the Central Commercial District Townhouse Zone. It includes a state-mandated electric vehicle infrastructure ordinance, as well as a section in regard to green building sustainability and resiliency. It was also added to provide design and development guidelines for future development projects. And all of the sections within the Section 310, so over the many years, it's kind of been added to, and things have gotten a little bit out of order. Some ordinances have superseded other ordinances, so it's sort of putting it all together. Our planners have went through the entire chapter and streamlined it. Where there's redundancies, they've taken them out. Where there's conflictions, they've amended them, and that's what this is doing here.
Okay. We have a request to bid on pedestrian flashing beacons, which has been long awaited, and can't wait to get them in. We have raffle request 1171 and 1172 for the host company number 1, and 1173 for the bandwagon. limousine license for Summit Express for Raja Shakur, and Resolution 248, which is authorized disposition of public sale of certain surplus supplied by not needed for public service. So what that is that the police department has found 32 unclaimed bicycles, and they've tried every attempt to find the owners to these bicycles, so they will go out for auction. Okay, Public Works,
Thank you, Mayor.
Lisa.
Resolution 2022-249 is a resolution authorizing sale of property no longer needed for public use on an online auction website. And this is basically sort of purging the inventory, so to speak. We've got a list of vehicles ranging, from 1989 ambulance to 2012 Ford F-150. These vehicles are no longer being used. The dollars that are going to be generated from the auction will go back into the budget, as a miscellaneous revenue item. Resolution 2022-250 is a resolution approving partial payment number 1 for Aurora and Associates PC in the amount of $46,223.94 for the 2018 Safe Routes to School Design Assistance. And like you said, this is just a partial payment, and it's payment number 1 for their design services that are associated with that grant that we received for the Safe Routes to School. Resolution 2022-251 is a resolution approving requisition R2201664 for iWork Systems in the amount not to exceed $17,000 for fleet maintenance software. This software is going to be used in the DPW. They're going to use it to track details of work orders and allow them to more accurately budget and report. This is just sort of entering, modern era, being able to track things electronically and digitally will make things more efficient and make their jobs a little bit easier, hopefully. And then finally, we have Resolution 2022-252. This is a resolution of the Borough of New Providence, County of Union, State of New Jersey, rejecting all bids for projects known as recycling, collection, and marketing. So as we've spoken about in the past, this area is getting a little bit tighter and tighter as far as the players in the recycling companies. The current company that we use and have been using has notified us that they won't be rebidding their contract. So we did go out there, we did receive one bid, it did not meet our specifications, so we will go out to rebid this. And like we have said in the past, what we have seen from our neighboring communities is significant increases in the recycling field. So, like I said, they have a monopoly. We have to do recycling. There's a very small amount of companies that do it. So we are almost at their mercy. But we will rebid and see what comes in.
And if we don't get a bid or a bid we like, then we can negotiate?
Yeah.
After the next one?
After the second bid.
Okay, discussion items? None? Okay, committee reports. I spoke to the police today, and they said the drop-off on Pioneer Drive is doing well. I know it's going to be an adjustment, but just ask people to be patient. In fact, I think Chief Henn said that Mr. Henry said the kids are all getting in school on time, which has been an amazing nuance. So, yeah. But I know there's things that have been floating around that Jones Drive is going to be one way, and none of that is true. All the information, if you have a question, please contact the police department, the traffic division, and they will tell you exactly what's going on. Nothing will be sprung on anybody. So, besides that, I have nothing. Matt?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only thing I have is just engineering construction. I know our engineer met with the cricket club. They went out to Warner, and they literally marked off, where they're going to put the pitch. And then our recreation and Bernadette went out and took a look at it to make sure that it made sense as far as what their plans are with recreation. Everything looks great, and so we're moving forward on that project. So,
Good?
yeah, that's all I
Okay.
have.
Is that it? Okay, Nadine?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a reminder to everyone, Hispanic Heritage Month will begin on Thursday. So September 15th through October 15th. Brian, I will give you a copy of this flyer, so you can put it up with the video. There are many great things to look forward to this upcoming month. There is a K-12 poster contest. There is a conversation throughout the month on social media with Latino community leaders. On this Friday, September 16th, from 6 to 9 p.m., there's an event called Fiesta Latina in the city of Summit on the Village Green, which is a collaboration with the Summit Diversity Committee. There will be a showing of, and so then there's a series of library items, and this includes a showing of Encanto this upcoming Saturday from 2 to 4. A Hispanic Heritage Cultural Artifacts display, Spanish Story Time, 2 of those, and then a World of Music presentation. And then culminating on October 8th, there will be a community heritage celebration held right outside of Centennial Park from 2 to 3:30 with a variety of arts and crafts, typical dress parade. We will be announcing the poster contest winners. We'll have a Zumba class, which I'm looking forward to. We will meet an author, and there will be toddler music and other dancing programs. So we will include both of these on with the video. It's also located on the Borough website, so I hope you can all come out and join us. It looks to be a great celebration, and I would like to thank the Diversity Committee for all of their work and efforts on this. One other small item. The Mental Health Advocacy and Education Committee, we met a couple weeks ago, I believe it was. So we met with our larger group now that we have volunteers that have signed up for that committee. We met, it was kind of a get to know you, give some ideas, brainstorming, and we look forward to working with them. A lot of great ideas, many concerned residents who want to bring advocacy and awareness about mental health to our community. So that's it for me.
And just a reminder, if you're looking to join one of these committees, like the Mental Health Committee, to fill out the volunteer form online.
On the Borough website.
Rob?
Just briefly, Councilman Comiskey and I went to the Board of Health meeting last week. The only thing that really was discussed was, again, talking about the Wonder Trucks. We had been charging them for inspections and permits, but now the state has come out saying that we're no longer supposed to do that. It's all going to be handled through Cranford, which is where their main commissary is out, and that their trucks are really considered more just like delivery trucks as opposed to, a food truck. But that's it.
Okay. Lisa?
What I have is the Sustainability Committee. They met on the 28th, and they finalized actually the next meeting is the 20th, so they met on the 24th, August 24th. They just finalized details for the Free Cycle Fest, which is this Saturday, from 9 to 2 at the pool parking lot. And you can drop off items from 9 to noon. Okay, so we're looking to kind of get the donations up front, earlier part of the day. The earlier you bring them, the better. Closer to that 9 o'clock time. This way, folks that come to browse will have an opportunity to take your items, hopefully. So what we're looking for here is, clean, working order items, things that you loved, that still work, that you just don't need anymore or don't want anymore. Anything that you can carry in, so nothing, no gigantic pieces of furniture, no clothing, no books. And so basically, we're just trying to keep everything out of the trash. So, if you don't have anything that you want to bring, at least come and browse. You might, what do they say? One man's trash is another man's treasure. So hopefully you'll find something you love. Another thing that we will be doing at the Free Cycle Fest this year, and this is new, is a plant and seed exchange, and that's going to go from 9 to noon. And what we're looking at here is just swapping seeds and cuttings, and we're asking that those seeds and cuttings be already portioned, okay, and clearly labeled with as much information as possible. That includes like the name of your seeds or cutting, the botanical name, tips for growing, and any additional notes that you might have, to share. Okay? Hope to see everybody there. There's a rain date, but I think it's going to be beautiful out, so we're going to need it.
It is, it's supposed to be really nice this weekend. Diane?
I have two. So the Historical Society is having their book festival on Saturday, the 17th. I believe it's from 9 until, I think it's 2. And it is at the Saltbox Museum. They have a website, www.newprovidencebookfestival.com. Also, if you find it in your heart, don't forget to join the New Providence Historical Society and go to their website in case you, for further information. Board of Education, there's lots going on in the schools. All the schools began on September 1st, which I think was the first time. Activities are in full swing. There's a lot of back-to-school nights this week and next week. And the biggest news is that there is a bond referendum. The resolution was approved at the August 30th Board of Ed meeting, and we will have Board of Ed representatives to present at upcoming school and community events. We actually had people at the PTSA meeting on Monday night, and that was amazing. So PTA, PTO meetings, back to school nights, they will actually, we will have representatives on September 27th, which is a Tuesday, at our next Borough Council meeting. They will be at the NPEF Fall Festival, special presentations at the Chicorso Center in Lantern Hill. So there will be a lot of presentations, a lot of opportunities to ask questions. Please feel free to ask any questions to the Board of Ed themselves. There is actually a dedicated page on the website, www.npsd.k12.nj.us, or just search it. And I think that's everything. The next Board of Ed meeting is September 29th, but look for it at their website for more information. And that's it.
Okay, 2 things I forgot. The bridge, Commerce Street. They put the pilings in, and I was down there. They're huge steel beams. I mean, this thing I think is constructed better than the George Washington Bridge. But at any rate, they're working on it. They were digging today. I think they're building for the forms for the concrete, and I don't think they could pour because of the weather. They weren't sure today. Also, Saturday, 10 o'clock, we have a ribbon cutting at the new bakehouse. So, and the following Sunday, 12 o'clock, Mass at OLP, Father Francisco's getting, I guess, sworn in as pastor, but we were all invited to that. So, that's all I have. Bernadette, anything?
Overall, operations are normal. We're finishing up a lot of our capital projects for the year as we're getting into leaf season. Leaf permits are now on sale on the borough website. Although we won't start collecting for a few weeks, you can get your permit now.
Okay, great. Okay. Opportunity for the public. Anybody wishing to address council, please raise. Yeah, Alan.
I just have a question.
Sure.
On the ordinance, 22-14, I tried to look it up today. It comes up as page not found. I've tried every computer, every apparatus that I have in the house.
It'll be up tomorrow, not till after this meeting.
Okay. That's really the only thing.
Okay, that works. Anyone else? Yeah, Jeff.
Hi, everybody. I'm here tonight to provide some comments on the introduction of Ordinance 2022-14, the Chapter 310 Code Zoning Ordinance. I ask this evening that you provide separate discussion for that, not on, as a consent item. And first of all, I have to apologize for not giving you comment on the downtown master plan back in 2016 when it was first introduced. That was my neglect, and I apologize for that. I should have been paying more attention. But since then, I've read the plan in its entirety, and I've examined it in detail, and I think there are several flaws in it that really need to be reconsidered while it's still in draft form and not adopted as an ordinance or as a resolution and changed to the zoning ordinances that you can still modify because it's not considered law yet. Some of the recommendations that I've read in there are going to irrevocably alter the character of the borough, maybe not improving it to what makes New Providence special as we know it today. Some of you know me. I don't know if you do, but I'll just give you a quick overview of who I am. I've lived here since 1956. I got a degree in landscape architecture with a focus and emphasis on urban planning and design. I'm the vice chairman of the zoning board for a bunch of years, and I was appointed by you recently to the historic commission, and I also serve as a default pro bono landscape architect for the borough. I worked on the recreation and open space master plan. I designed Centennial Park. I designed the music area of Veterans Park and the master plan, which we have to talk about some other time. I did those landscape plan for the library. I did the corner of the streetscape over by the Presbyterian Church. I did the deck design for the seniors last year. And I'm working with Ralph on the tree planting for this year. So, you know, because I live here, it's important to me, and I think I bring these things up to you for your consideration. I think you need to consider one more time how some of the recommendations included in the downtown master plan are going to alter our town and maybe kill the golden goose of why people choose to live here. I'll tell you how. I've heard countless times from being on the zoning board and elsewhere, people say, when people choose New Providence to live in, they specifically cite the small town character and feel and the ambiance that the downtown area has. It's a major selling point to the town, and we want that because it brings families and folks to town, and they're attracted specifically, one of the things, for the way that we have our downtown. So my concern this evening is a matter of scale, and I'll tell you what I mean. In the master plan, they had short-term and long-term recommendations in the master plan. Some of them including parking strategies. Well, duh, we know that that's a real pain. Connectivity and circulation, which can always be improved. We want people to walk more and not drive from the back of that store to the back of that store. Streetscape can always be improved. The zoning and parking regulations do need another look at and update, and we think that that's important. Zoning and mixed use is important to be addressed and considered. The urban design standards are always important, I agree with that, and marketing and promotions. These were all short-term and long-term, mid-term solutions. But some of the things that I think you ought to pay attention to, and that's why I'm here tonight, is that there is a part of it called opportunity sites, and that needs a relook, and I'll tell you why. One of the things that particularly troubles me and why I came this evening is because there's now an advocacy for allowing three-story buildings in the downtown area. And if you want to know what a three-story building looks like, go over to Berkeley Heights and take a look at what's now where the movie theater used to be. Okay? That is what you'll possibly have lining the streets of our town. Right now, there are no three-story buildings in town other than this one and the senior center. And you can imagine in the opportunity sites portion of the plan, one of the spots that they have is right where the Carmen's Barbershop is, and there, if you imagine a three-story building right there as you approach the corner of South and Springfield, that would be looming. And right around downtown again with the eye looking at scale. I strongly suggest that you take a look at scale of our downtown, of what makes it attractive as a small downtown area and why people come here. And that's one of the things that brings me this evening. The last time the master plan was re-examined was 2009, and one of the things that they said was to preserve and increase the economic and aesthetic vitality of the existing commercial district. I agree with that. I think we all do. We want to make sure this is a good-looking place. And it goes back to my concern for the inclusion of the provision in the master plan for three-story buildings as a matter of scale. And if that becomes part of the ordinance, then you've just opened a Pandora's box to changing and altering fundamentally and forever the scale of downtown. And that I want you to reconsider and before you make the 2022 whatever that is, permanent law, that you consider that again. And you have the opportunity to go back and ask higher cool and say, wait a second, let's think about this a minute. Because scale of downtown is some of the things that attracts people to New Providence. And it's got to be different than Berkeley Heights and different than Summit, which is a whole different argument.
Good point. This is only introduction.
I understand.
So what I would, we have to introduce it,
Okay.
but the final is until, I think we have to wait a month, right?
Yeah, a couple of weeks from now, 2 meetings or something.
At any rate, my suggestion is you talk to Keith all the time.
I do.
Talk to Keith about it and McKinley,
Right.
the planner.
Yeah.
This has to go back to the planning board.
Okay.
So,
Well, ultimately, yeah.
and then it'll come back to us. So,
Okay, I want to.
yeah, no, but I understand what you're saying.
And so you know it, and I will definitely
Yeah.
talk to Keith, and I'll talk to McKinley as well, who I know well.
Right.
And, but when Margaret made this known to me that this is going to come on tonight's agenda and why this is now how it's going to proceed, I reread again the master plan from beginning to end, and certain things in there were very troubling, and I can talk to McKinley about it, but having the opportunity to revisit some of those things one more time before it's adopted into ordinance and law, I think is worth your consideration, and that's why I came this evening.
Thank you, Jeff.
You bet.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, anyone else wishing to address council?
Take a bag.
Yes, please.
Take a bag. Everybody take a bag.
Take two.
Nobody's going to miss you with this.
Seeing no one, I declare the public comments closed. I need...
I'm going to recuse myself, Mayor, from 2022-14, no, 2022, where was it? Hold on, let me find it.
Oh, that was on, it's still the introduction though, right?
So,
We're not voting on that.
No, from 2022-12, for the multifamily, I own multifamily, so I'll recuse myself from that one.
well, that's just a state law. You don't have a choice.
Oh, jeez.
It makes no sense.
Okay.
So, okay.
And it still
You
does the
can- you can vote on it.
introduction though,
We have
right?
to do it anyway.
That should be the introduction.
Yeah. Okay, I need a motion for 1 through 25, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Kaminsky.
Aye.
Mrs. Jeffrey.
Yes.
Mr. Munoz.
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight.
Yes.
Mrs. Belisca.
Aye.
Okay, we have to go into executive session. Resolution 4A, please read the title.
Resolution establishing September 13th, 2022 as the date and 8:30 PM is the time in the municipal center is the place for the holding of a special session of the mayor and council of the Borough of New Providence to discuss personnel matters involving the administrator, at which time the public will be excluded.
Have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Kaminsky.
Aye.
Mrs. Jeffrey.
Yes.
Mr. Munoz.
Yes.
Mrs. McKnight.
Yes.
Mrs. Belisca.
Aye.
Okay, we'll adjourn for 5 minutes.